This is the sorry tale of a pier steeped in history but locked in the past. When Birnbeck Pier opened in 1867, a local public holiday was declared in Weston-super-Mare, and there were processions, banquets and speeches. In its heyday, it attracted thousands of visitors, many arriving by paddle steamer and spending the whole day on the island. But it's now been closed for 20 years, caught between the ravages of stormy weather and the desolation of failed projects. But could the tide now be turning in the nick of time for the old pier, thanks to people power? A rescue group has suddenly got together through social media. And they mean business.
Hiya, all right, how are you?
Out there today?
Well, this is campaign headquarters. The new group has set up shop in here and clearly set out its stall to buy the pier and the island. The only problem is, right now, it's not for sale. They want the property developers who now own the pier and surrounding area to step aside and abandon their earlier plans for luxury apartments on the island. Hello, Ron.
Hiya, hi, Vincent.
Good to see you.
Yeah, thanks.
This is HQ.
This is it. This is the place.
Briefly, how did this come about and why?
Well, following recent storms, it became apparent we could lose our old lady forever, and I'm not prepared to stand by and watch that happen. It's just snowballed. It's just amazing how many people have all of a sudden come on board.
And this now with a completely different aim, not to push others into action, but to actually buy the thing yourself?
That old lady out there is for everybody to enjoy. We're hoping the people of Weston-super-Mare will give us ideas. What do you want on it? An education centre, a concert hall, maybe a wedding venue. Waverley Excursions would love to come back. The only way we're going to guarantee the island for the use of the people of Weston-super-Mare is to buy it.
Ron, you must be talking about $500,000 to buy it, 15, 20 million to restore it, and then the running costs on top of that.
Yeah. Well, that's...
Are you a dreamer?
No, we're a realist.
Really?
We've got the right people on board.
Fundraising is underway, and an outdoor party for the pier is planned at Easter. Musician Barry Walsh has already recorded a campaign song. Very nice to see you.
Hi.
Now, rumour has it you've written a song and you've got a CD.
I do.
Would you believe I've got currency that many, many years ago was real money? This is Birnbeck Island currency. Would you accept that?
I will accept that.
There you go, you accept that.
And I'll give you my CD.
Look at that. Sing me a line for me.
Save me from the way you see me now. I'm breathless and I'm fading.
The real money, and we are talking big money, will have to come from grants. So, to qualify, the new group is setting up a charitable trust with the long-established Friends of the Old Pier Society. The move hasn't come a moment too soon for the Society's chairman, Charles McCann.
I think, personally, we've wasted a lot of time because we, and I'm including the Friends of the Old Pier Society, the North Somerset Council, all the local businesses who could have helped in the past have done absolutely nothing. And the Friends of the Old Pier Society have been a lone voice.
So, can North Somerset Council step in now?
We can't give them money, but we certainly can help them with advice and support, and also I would hope in acting as an intermediary between them and the owner of the pier. And we need to get the two parties together, in my opinion, to find a satisfactory answer. But I do think that a trust eventually has got to be the answer to completing and running the pier.
Birnbeck is the work of the great Victorian pier designer Eugenius Birch, and so, even though a rusting wreck, remains protected as a Grade 2 listed structure. The foundation stone for the pier was laid with great pomp and ceremony in 1864, when Mr. Birch handed a trowel to the Lord of the Manor's 8-year-old son, Cecil Smythe Piggott, to do the honours.
And here we are these days, kept safely under lock and key in the Mayor's parlour, the very silver trowel that was used by young Cecil all those years ago.
Rides and attractions of all kinds kept the crowds entertained during the old pier's glory days. The mutoscope was a popular what the butler saw machine. Well, you do need to do your research. Birnbeck has had its share of celebrity encounters over the years. When the Beatles played Western in the 60s, look where they posed for their publicity shots.
No, it's okay, sit down.
Now, Western's famous son, John Cleese, has sent the campaign group a good luck message. And today, the actor Timothy West, currently in EastEnders, is making a nostalgic trip from London to add his support to the campaign. Timothy is a patron of the National Piers Society, and he's meeting the Vice Chairman, Tim Phillips, who has news of a possible lifeline for Birnbeck.
When you both look at it, sadness, I guess?
Yes, it's very, very distressing, isn't it?
Timothy came to live in Bristol during the war, and the family used to spend their annual holidays in Uphill on the edge of Weston-super-Mare.
When I was 13, 14, I already somehow preferred this end of Weston, and I loved the pier. And I particularly liked sailing on the Campbell steamers. We went across to South Wales and down the coast to Lynmouth and Ilfracombe. But it had a wonderful elegance. It still has, even in its dilapidated condition. You can see what a graceful piece of engineering it is. I used to love it, and I feel very sad to see it in its present condition.
Do you honestly think Birnbeck can be saved now, or is it too late?
With the right ideas, it could just be saved, and it would be a wonderful thing that everybody would be very proud of having achieved.
Timothy, may I ask you, can you see yourself being a passenger on the Waverley, drifting away from that pier towards Wales anytime soon?
Well, I'm 80 years old, so it's going to be fairly soon, I think.
The National Pier Society is recognised by the government as the leading authority on, well, piers, and they are supporting the new push.
The National Pier Society has been very concerned about this pier for a long time, and it's also on the radar of English Heritage and the Victorian Society.
Is the answer to get it out of private ownership? Either the council or a trust needs to grab it quickly?
I think from the Society's point of view, a trust vehicle is probably the most sensible route, because I suspect the local authority will not want to take up ownership.
Now, I gather you've come armed with some pretty good news for these people today.
We are going to sponsor a competition through the RIBA, which should bring on board some high-profile architects and engineers.
He's smiling.
To come up with a solution so that the pier is saved, but also there is a good business plan behind it to produce revenue in the long term.
This is exciting news. Is there any prize money?
There will be probably in the order of 20,000, maybe more. I'm hopeful that we will get a big commercial sponsor in London to back it.
Well, gentlemen, you've just heard that. Reaction?
Oh, absolutely excellent, isn't it? What we've all been playing for,
Yeah,
hoping
absolutely.
for.
Yeah, brilliant. Just getting really excited now. I just can't wait to see what they produce. It's just great news. It's wonderful news. We couldn't ask for anything more.
As for the owners of the pier, they didn't want to take part in our film, but they did say they would be prepared to work with the community if a viable solution can be found.